Okay, welcome to If You Love. Today we're going to be looking at the Dark Knight Returns Part 1.
Yes.
Of the two-part cartoon adaptation of the comic by the same name, by Frank Miller. So what was... Well, I watched this again recently, and also there's obviously an order that you do it in, and I did it in the order of reading the comic first, and then... watching it, I think it's probably the only way you can do it. I doubt there's many people who have watched the cartoon then read the comic.
I think there's quite a lot of people who have seen Batman via proxy via the movies and not necessarily through the actual the comic medium. So for them, I think they're going to love this story. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Yeah. It's amazing. I think what could be interesting to talk about regarding it is the need to do an adaptation. What form does it actually serve for the actual story? Like, why do an adaptation? Why can't we just buy the comic?
Well, I guess there's the money factor. People like money. People like to work. And I would like to work. No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a thing of, I guess, it was... I personally felt like it was kind of the right time for this to be made, you know what I mean? Like, you could have made it earlier and it would have been fine, but it seems that Batman is back up on that kind of high... He's right on that apex now.
Yeah, because of Dark Knight.
Because of Dark Knight Rises and all that.
Yeah.
He seems to be right at the top of his sort of game right now, and he's hot property. So it seems like adapting that was... But the DC people, Warner Brothers, are always... they're always making Batman stuff.
Yeah.
They're, like, constantly making, like, direct-to-video movies and stuff. Which, again, this is what this was, and I think is, with the popularity of the internet now, becoming quite a sharp way of doing that, because if it's, like, you know, if you're somebody who likes to play by the rules, you can download it on Netflix, or whatever.
Not that we did that. We bought it.
Yeah, totally.
We bought the DVD. I'm rustling the DVD case right now. I think that it's quite... exceptional.
Do you think it's necessary? I mean, that's
I think it's quite exceptional that it's a very good adaptation. There are a few things that we'll go into that I don't really think helped it too much. But having said that, it doesn't take away from the product itself. It was still something that I'd watch and watch again in the future, I'm sure. I do think that Alan Moore has a bit of a point, though, when it comes to adaptation, because he can't stand people adapting his work. As you know, Watchmen... it's not something that he's actually even watched, apparently. He hasn't even watched the film. So...
Well, it's different with something like that. Like, it's quite hard, because with a film adaptation like that, especially something as dense as Watchmen...
You're not going to get all the plot lines in.
You actually... I think it's impossible to adapt that as a film that... Because I watched it again, and I was like, I know the comic, so I know what happens.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, I've heard a lot of people who haven't seen, like, I unfortunately dragged an ex-girlfriend to... But unfortunately, I mean, like, she didn't want to go see it, and I knew that, and I dragged her along.